So I'm doing a separate review for this book because of the fact that I want to have the hard copy shown, because I'm gonna first of all make a point about the book, um, and I just decided to hell with it. I'll make it its own video rather than keeping the book until Thursday and then I'll return on Thursday. No, I'm gonna return it tomorrow. So today I'll do the review, and then tomorrow I do reading recommendations. I'll actually put this video as a link. Sometimes I say I will and I forget. Or I'll just forget what the video was. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, in this video, yada yada yada. And I'm like, I had to do a video, but I had to put a link to the video. I don't remember which one. Okay, so one point I do want to make is that this 200, not even 300 page book. Let's go over. Okay, so let's say 231. Yeah, 232 pages. And this one is double that. It's like 400 something pages. I know it's over 400 pages. The point I'm trying to make is that, just count how many pages. Oh wait, this doesn't have a table of contents. This is the only one that doesn't. It's really weird. Okay, so let's say this is 450 pages. This and this are the same exact price. And they both came out at around the same time. Which I find to be so weird because they're both the same size hardcover, both standard size. Here, I'll put on the flat surface. They're both the same size hardcover. This isn't a deluxe edition. I think it's even the same contents as the paperback one was a long time ago. But the paperback didn't have the covers, which I really, really, really despise, and I do. But this one I got for free for a library, which I'm glad I did, because I would have been pissed. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, actually, this one is out of print. I can't even find it on Amazon. Like, I can't find the hardcover. I can only find the paperback one from way back when, which I think technically would be worth more than the, well, actually it is. They're both $50. The paperback is $50 on Amazon. But it's obviously over the list price, because I don't think the paperback was $50. So, and I also want to go over how many issues each book collects. Because this one also has a 10-page story, because there was only like 10 pages of Detective Comics to fill in the story. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention is that they will advertise on the cover. I think this is why they didn't have the covers on it before, so they could get away with it. But this one, right, perfect, got right to it. Says 68 pages, as you can see, cover to cover. Which meant there was actually 68 pages. There was no ads in between. I think this one is it. It says cover to cover. But they don't collect the full issue. They only collect they don't collect the full Batman Detective Comics issue. They love putting it wherever the hell they feel like. 485. So it only collects the Ra's al Ghul story. This is all Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, all that. It's her first appearance and his first appearance, respectively, for the Ra's al Ghul family. And so not only does it not collect the full issue of Detective Comics 485, and none of them I don't think were reprints. I think they're all new stories. But it's still going to charge you $50 for it. And there's one that's only 10 pages. So let's go over the issues it collects. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 11 issues, and it's like 232 pages. And a lot of it, let's add that up too. Because this entire side right here is all the cover gallery. And then this page is all the contents. So you get about 218 to 231. You could definitely fit another issue of Batman in there. So we could have gotten 12. 231 minus 218. 13 pages. Right? I'm doing that right? Let's do 232. 232 minus 218. Oh, look at that, 14. 14. I knew it was 14. But 14 pages. So 14 pages would be at least one story from the Detective Comics. Why does that not sound right? I know I'm doing it right. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so it would only be like one more story, and it wouldn't even like count because 14 pages. Well, I think they could do 15. Because they used to be like, actually, they could do 16, make it 234, because back in the 70s, they cut the amount of pages that were in a comic. Except for that one that we went over. But I remember Marvel, when Giants, that was actually late 70s, early 80s. When X-Men was coming out, like I think it was issue 101 when the Chris Claremont run started. It was like 18 pages, 17 pages for a comic, and they included all the, when the ads excluded, it was that many pages. So, and then this one, let's go with this one, much thicker. Here, get out of the dust jacket. This is volume 1, by the way, of Superman Man of Steel. One of the best purchases I have made, apparently, because they give you nothing for $50. And again, these two books came out around the same time. I actually think that this one's technically older. Because not only can you not... I think they're actually... I keep stuttering. I think they're actually both 2020. Or was one 2019? I don't know. Does not collect that. Don't give me that bullshit. Both covers of Ra's al Ghul, Saga of Ra's al Ghul 1 through 4. Yeah, 2020. They both came out around the same time. And they're both the same price. I just don't get it with DC sometimes. Honestly, they're usually very nice about... Mia, come on. I'm gonna edit that out. Yeah, I'm not editing it out. That's how lazy I am. Not lazy. It's not laziness. It's just I don't know how to edit. For those of you who don't, I don't think I've ever mentioned that before. I'm distracted right now. Okay, let's count them all. But basically what I was trying to say is that I don't edit my videos. Okay, so 6, you get the 6-issue miniseries of Man of Steel. You get, so it's 6 plus 4 is 10. It's already more than 12. Really, Siri? Why is everything freaking out right now? No. Siri goes off. I didn't say, hey, Siri. Alright. Okay. Let's go back to with that. So yeah, collects more than 12 already. So 10, 584, 585, 586, 587. So that's 14, 424, 425, 426, 427, 428. It's 19. And then 20, 21, 22. 22 issues, but 3 of them are a Who's Who update. Still actual issues of Superman. So, yeah. Why the hell are they charging you the same price? That's what I don't understand. That is total bullshit, in my opinion. You should not have to pay $50 for a little itty-bitty trade paperback. And I know and it's not like it's not an oversized hardcover either. And by the way, no one else is going to mention this that's gone over the Tales of the Demon hardcover. Because they, let's just say they forgot. They forgot to mention it. That'd be their excuse. No, in actuality, they don't like mentioning stuff like that. It's just like their preference. And I get that. But still, come on. And this thick-ass hardcover is also $50. And this thin-ass paper is... This thin-ass, not even a trade. I don't know what I'm saying. But they're both $50. And look how tiny it is compared to that Superman book. That's nothing. And they're still charging you $50. Yeah, you wonder why it took me so long to actually show this off. If they didn't have it in my local library, or the, Interloans, but same diff, I wouldn't have read this. And it's not even worth. It's worth it. Yeah, it's a good book, but you know what? I'm gonna do a second cut. No, I shouldn't do a second cut. No, we're already 10 minutes in. I'm doing. I don't like when I get like there's interruptions, there's noise. You know, I feel like it's distracting. I might edit that out. I don't know. I'll see if I can. I don't think YouTube will let me though, because that's the only way I'll be able to edit. So when more specifically, the reason why I don't edit is because I don't have editing software, and I don't want to invest in an editing software that's going to cost me money and not get any views. To pay off that debt, you know. At least for comics like these, I'm going to read these comics, you know. And then with the reading recommendations, I'm giving you guys comics that I've read, that I liked, you know, furthering that fan base, you know. I'm not going to pay for editing. If I had to edit, I would. And I would pay that. I'd be like, fine, I'll pay that amount. But it's kind of like, if I'm never going to become a big YouTuber, what's the point of doing, like, a bunch of editing, you know? And I'm not saying to be, like, I'm not saying to be selfish or anything like that. I'm just saying that because there's no real, like, point to it. Because there hasn't been a time. This is the only real time I'm like, oh, damn, I wish I could have edited it. But I probably could edit that out. I think YouTube, this YouTube editor, I think YouTube will let me do that. Okay, so, and then this, you know, also $50. And this is the shortest Superman Man of Steel hardcover. And this one, I think, even gives you, let's count this one. What's the shortest hardcover going to give you? 1, 2. This is all annuals too. I might add. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, did I say all annuals? The first 3 were annuals. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cover art by Dan Jurgens. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's 16 issues, plus the cover gallery and, I think, covers, did it say? No, the Who's Who, which, I guess you don't count that as its own issue. So, yeah, like, roughly 17, or the Who's Who update. I think it's material from. But let's say 16. At least 16 issues in the shortest Superman book, and 3 of them are annuals, which means they're double the size. And actually 4 of them technically, because one's Earth Stealers, and that looks like it's a longer issue too, more pages. So, what's Batman's excuse? I think it's the Batman tax, honestly. Because more people are, like, I would say that more people would pick up a Batman. I'm not saying, like, DC fans. I'm just saying comic book people in general would pick up a Batman book than a Superman book. Because Batman is, like, a darker character. And they're like, oh, I want to see what the comics are all about. And also the movies are more popular, too. Like, the movies have grossed more. When was the last Superman book? What was the last Superman solo movie we got? It was in 2013. Oh, shit. Actually, technically, it was 2016. If I'm counting solo movies, not like the crossover, like not including Batman v Superman or Justice League or anything like that. So, yeah, actually, it was later than Batman. But if you go over like, let's go over this by now. Why am I so stuttery and saying the wrong words? And I just probably should have unplugged that because I think that wasn't fully charged yet, and that's all falling. Something's going wrong with this. I can't afford to lose time. I have a bunch of books to read, and I have homework to do. I already did some of the homework, but I'm waiting on the stupid friggin' people to actually reply to a discussion board that's due Thursday. And some of them didn't do it till Wednesday. Even Wednesday, there was like 2 people. It's like, do you want to fail? Apparently you do. Alright, now then, Batman movies at the box office. Why was that so hard to... of course, I gotta add them all together. I'm not gonna say how much they've grossed. No, let's go by the most money. What made the most money? Apparently Batman Forever did. Nope, Dark Knight Rises did. $1 billion. Okay, so let's do Superman movies box office. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go by the highest grossing. We're gonna compare the highest grossing movies to one another. I don't know why I'm doing this. Looks like maybe Superman Returns, maybe? Why are we... Why is it doing, like, max theaters? No, we don't want to do theaters. We want to do by... Okay, so it doesn't look like any of them made $1 billion. Perfect, there we go. 330 for... Wow, that's nothing. Man of Steel made almost 300 million. I think that's, no, it says lifetime gross, but I don't think they add in the, overseas. Yeah, I'd say 300 million. You know, it's two different... You know, it's Box Office Mojo. So yeah, I'd say 300 million for Superman. So Batman is a more popular character, so maybe it is the Batman tax with that one. I don't know. But it still makes no sense. Like, this is not even 300 pages, and all three of these are at least 400 pages. At least. Well, at least 424 pages, you know? So, it's double the amount, you know? You know? So, this one's actually 544. 544 pages for $50. And the fourth and final Superman Man of Steel hardcover, again, I like that they all have the same design on the spine. But the fourth and final Superman Man of Steel hardcover is gonna have a 500. It's gonna be 520 pages for $50. So, once again, what is Batman's excuse for being this thin for that much money? So the books themselves are good. You know, they're good stories. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams ones were the best. Although the first one, it was very, very clunky for the first few issues. I wonder if that was when they started their run on Batman. I would say if you want a good Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams book, get the Green Lantern Green Arrow book from the 70s, the early 70s. More specifically, the Hard Traveling Heroes hardcover. It is $50, I think, but it's a tall ass book. It's an oversized hardcover, and it's $50. So, I think it's actually like 300 pages. So it's more than it's still. You know, let's do that too. Let's look up the Hard Traveling Heroes. I think it's out of print too, so you're better off doing the Kindle book. But it's definitely weird the way they do it, 'cause it's so old. It's from an earlier printing, and it's so old that it does it differently than you would do, like the panel by panel, like swiping. It's like it zooms in when it would just show you the whole panel, like almost like a widescreen thing. That's what they do now, and it's a lot better than what they did before. They just zoomed in. That was like very like jarring. Yep, $49.99. You have to give it $39, and it's an oversized hardcover, and it's 368 pages. So even then, and it's still Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, one of the best books I have read in a long, long time. From that era of comics, from the Bronze Age, probably the most popular Bronze Age series from DC at the very least, and 368 pages according to Amazon, and it's $50. And this one is 232, and it's $50. So none of you in the comments can say, "Oh yeah, that's not an unfair price." It is an unfair price. Now I know that there are like complete collections from Marvel. Like there's a very thin ass. I'm not gonna get it because it's gonna the bookend they have for the Deadpool's is not an actual good. It's not a good bookend. So take out one book and everything falls apart. But it's a very thin ass soft cover and still $34.99. And they have much thicker books that are also the same price. It's nothing new, but for hardcovers, this should have been $39.99. Hell, $29.99. I think even Marvel would have been like, yeah, $29.99. But another thing I want to point out is the Marvel Masterworks are very expensive nowadays. They're actually $100 nowadays, and as much as an omnibus, it's like 800 pages. And those Marvel Masterworks, and done by the same people, by the way, for the most part, depending on what you get. Like there's a Fantastic Four omnibus by Stan Lee that's out right now, one of them's $100. Same people that did the Marvel Masterworks, and the Marvel Masterworks like 200 plus pages. So that is definitely overpriced too. But my point is that if this book, and I'm going to do the volume 1 specifically because these both came out the same year. If these two came out the same year and the thicker one is the same amount of pages as the thinner one, and sorry same price, I got distracted, same price, they're both the same price, and this one is double the pages of this one, then why the hell would they do that? And again, yeah, it's worth reading, definitely worth reading, they're good stories, but I would say get it at a discount or get it at your local library, because then it'll be much more maybe a lot more worth the price. Or just be like near mint condition when he gets the books for free. Although is he for DC? I know for Marvel he gets them. He has Marvel like on like not on the back of his hand, but like on like speed dial basically. Whenever he wants a book, he just calls him up. He doesn't actually do that. They just give him whatever, which is really nice of Marvel to do. So yeah, there's that. So basically, you don't even get 200 pages of book. Actually, do you? Yeah, you do. You get only like 217 pages of book, and then 218 to 232 are all extras and cover art for the original trade paperbacks and these ones, and then you get the Saga of Ra's al Ghul, which they say they collect. Very not cowardly, but I don't know. But they say like they collect it and doesn't collect it, so then it's not like. I don't know how you would say that. But actually, on the back here, does it even say? No, but I think they need to say if it collects it, even if it collects the cover on the table. Where you read the summary, right here. That's where they have it. They have it right here, and they have it on the back too. Some DC books don't. This one does though, actually. So, but again, like I said, these are good stories. Some of them are a lot less, aren't as good as the others, but some are worth it. None of them were as good as that There's No Hope in Crime Alley. That was also by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. But they're all pretty good. I would say it's a rough 7.5 out of 10. And it gets a modest recommendation. It's brought down by the price of the book. And the fact that I don't think every single library is going to have the same book. People in Kentucky, are they going to have the same luxuries as I do with libraries? Probably not. I can't say for sure. So it's a modest recommendation. If there's a sale on it on DC, or you get it at a discount at your local comic book store, almost a library, a local comic book store, you find it at a yard sale for like $5, I would say get it. Definitely get it then. But don't pay $50 for don't pay $50 for this when you get this for the same price. I'm saying DC specifically because clearly they're both the same publisher. And the page quality is the same too. Like I'm feeling the pages, and they're about the same. Superman seems here too, actually, how thin each page is. About this thick, and this one might even be thinner. Actually, it's a bit thinner. No, because it's the same paper quality they use for both books. So there's literally no excuse. These both came out the same year, and they're both the same price. And this is twice the amount of pages as this is. Makes no sense. Yes, this was 99% me that's complaining about not complaining, but me going over the build of the book rather than reviewing the actual book. But like I said before, it's worth it. But only because I didn't have to pay a single cent for it. But a lot of them, like the first issue, Detective Comics 411, was very forgettable, and if it didn't have the first appearance of Talia al Ghul in it, it would be in Ra's al Ghul. And I think Ra's al Ghul too. No, it wasn't. It was just Talia al Ghul. I think he was only mentioned. But the mention, so cameo by Ra's al Ghul, I'd say. If it didn't have them two in it, or I didn't know those two characters at all, it would be very forgettable. I wouldn't remember a single thing about it. But it was the first appearance of both characters, and it was still decent. But then it gets better as it goes along. 232, I remember it wasn't so great. And the first few were very similar in plot. They had the same basic twist, the first 3 or 4. And then, I actually think they all kind of did. Yeah, they actually all kind of had the same, like, basic twist. It wasn't like they didn't focus, some didn't focus on twist as much, but they were all like, oh, what's the twist here? And it's like, let me guess, it's gonna be the same one, yep, the same one as last time. Very, God, what's the word? Clever. Very clever. And it wasn't like they were like thinking like, oh, this is the best twist in comics ever. No, I think after like the 4th time, even Batman made a joke about how, or there was a joke made about how the same thing happened again. And I can't even remember half the stories honestly, but they were good. Like some of them went by very, very quickly. I mean, they weren't there were shorter issues, but like. They're all roughly 18 pages, except for that one 10-page issue. Even better, you get a 10-page issue, in here, and it's $50, and so it's 11 full. And it's like, again, some of them aren't even the full Detective Comics issues. They just take out the Ra's al Ghul story / Talia al Ghul story, and then they leave the rest out. So you get like 23 pages, yeah, but you also get 68 pages. I think it'd be a lot more. I think it'd be a lot more worth it. I think it'd be a lot worth the price. It'd be a lot more worth the price. Yeah, I can't say it's no grammatically correct word. No grammatically correct way to say that. But be much more worth the price if they gave you the full 68-page Detective Comics issues. But they don't. And I get it. It would be kind of like kind of like not redundant, but it would be kind of. There'd be no point. It's kind of pointless to have the full issue because it'd be like, okay, there's only one story in here that had Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul in it. Why are we collecting these stories, you know? And some of them were Batgirl and Robin centered, so we're like, oh, it's a Batman story. Why are we getting Batgirl and Robin in here? It just makes no sense to me. And actually, even better, I'm gonna go get a oversized hardcover of Batman that came out around the same time. This one is $30. $30, and came out around the same time, and it's an oversized hardcover. See? What? And they're both Batman. So what is this guy's excuse? And this one gives you a lot. Yeah, some of these aren't collected the full story. It's like a bunch of 13-ish, a lot of Golden Age stuff. So there's 13 pages worth of story, but it's still thicker. I think it's still an oversized hardcover, and it's cheaper. It makes no sense. Yeah, definitely. It makes no sense why this had to be $50. No sense whatsoever. Alright, I'm losing. I'm going overtime, so I think you get the point. 30 minutes of me bitching about a book that I didn't have to pay money for. I'm just saying, I wouldn't spend money on this book when I can get this book, you know. Actually, it's a Last God book. It's $50. I'm gonna get that. Get that instead, you know. I really wish I could, like, for every book that I got, I could get that. They could give me the amount, not like the library or anything like that, obviously, but I mean, like, DC would be like, okay, or actually be competitors, because why would DC give me money for not buying a book, you know? They give me, like, Marvel could give me $50. So, like, here's $50. I'm not getting that, you know, for getting that one for free, or for getting that one from the library. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but, like, I do. I'm not saying that, like, that's not, like, a jab at DC or anything like that. No, I'm just saying, like, cause I've always been saying, like, oh, I've saved so much money by getting these books at the library. And I wish I could get that money to myself, you know, I should get that money. That'd be one rich son of a bitch at this point. That's it, though. I think at 30 minutes. So, tomorrow you'll be getting a reading recommendation. This book excluded, because this is a 30-minute review. And then Thursday, you'll be getting. I should probably just upload this on Wednesday, honestly. No, you'll be getting a comic haul, and then maybe library. Actually, maybe reading recommendations tomorrow. It all depends. But Thursday definitely being library haul, reading recommendations, and hopefully a comic haul, depending on how much. Yeah, it should still be a comic haul. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, 10 seconds. Yeah, it just makes no sense to me. This is an oversized hardcover for $30. Is this the same amount of pages? I don't know. Even this is kind of overpriced technically. This isn't though. I'm not as mad anymore about this book because it's a pretty thick book for $30. This is oversized and it's $30. It's around the same amount of pages. Yeah, sometimes sometimes DC doesn't make sense with their pricing. But honestly, this would only be like, I want to say this would be $24.99. Actually, it should be $24.99 for a hardcover even, but this will only be like 20 to $25 if it was a softcover. I don't know for sure though. Post show. Maybe it's because there's a lot of like older issues. It's like vintage. I don't know. It's weird though. Still doesn't make sense.